All right, here's the story. I started doing stand-up comedy when I was 14. I'll never forget the first time I was on stage. The guy that introduced me was a guy named J.T. Newton. I'm 47. I can close my eyes and remember the introduction like it was yesterday. It went like this. Ladies and gentlemen, this next young man coming to the stage is starting his comedy career tonight. Who knows? We may be witnessing the birth of a star. Please welcome Dave Chappelle. From the first time that I ever held a microphone, I was sure this was it. I knew I was home. I knew I had found my thing. And my God, man, I was a child. I got good. Matter of fact, I was good from the moment I started. And I'm not saying this to be a braggart. I'm telling you the truth. These old niggas was in awe of me. How was this little boy so poised? They used to say. I was. I mean, you know, I got better, but it started out good. About a year into it, when I was 15 years old, I had written a joke during the AIDS epidemic about having a Goodyear condom. Something, I don't even remember the joke. Something about an industrial strength condom by Goodyear. I just remember all the comedians really liked that joke. And there was an older comedian. And he came to me one night after the show, after he saw the joke, and he said, listen, I got an audition at another comedy club, and I was wondering, do you mind if I do that joke? I just want to borrow it. Now, I'm a kid. I don't know any better. I'm like, borrow it? Well, I guess, sure, if it'll help your career. I let him do the joke. And then weeks later, I was waiting to go on in a comedy club, and he went on before me, and he did the joke. And after the show, I pulled him aside, and I said, hey, man, I don't mind you borrowing my jokes, but you got to give them back. He said, oh, I forgot to ask you. He goes, let me buy that joke from you for $50. And I said, man, I'd do it, but I'm just starting out. I need all the material I can get. The idea being that the more material I can accumulate, the faster I'll be able to make money for my work. I said, I can't do it. I want my joke back. I'll never forget this. Remember, I was a 15-year-old child. This guy was a grown-ass man. He stood up over me so I could see how big he was. And he said to me, really? I can just take it. And he did. I got scared because I was a child. But I never forgot that. I never forgot that. I was 15 years old. I'm 47 now. I think about this guy all the time. When I look at my own kids and I see how young and innocent they are, I can't believe someone did that to me. And I don't think about it every day because that was the worst thing that happened to me. I think about it every day because that was the first time that someone ever did that to me. But in my career, it has happened many, many times since, where someone would intimidate me or scare me and take something that I believe was mine. I'll tell you another story. Now I'm 18 years old. I'm living in New York City, and I just finished my first road tour, which was a very difficult tour. I'll spare you the details. Now I'm back in New York, but my rent is paid, thank God. And I have $60 to my name, and a woman that I had met in Pittsburgh, a bad Dominican bitch, was coming to New York. She was going to spend the weekend with me. I couldn't wait for her to get there. She was coming that evening. But remember, I only had $60 for a whole weekend to entertain a bad bitch. Now I'm walking through Greenwich Village, and I see something I've never seen before. 3-card Monte. You know what that is? Yeah, the guy had the whole thing. The table was set up, and he had the 3 cards, and the crowd was hooting and hollering, and he was like, find the red card, find the red card, and people were playing. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but it was really exciting, and I'm standing there watching it, and I noticed while I'm watching them play this game that the red card, the one you're trying to find, had just a little bend on the corner. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, yo, this guy doesn't seem to know that red card is bent. I'm going to beat this motherfucker. And I walked up to the table, and I said, let me play a hand. And I put my last $60 on that table, and he starts to shuffle and find the red card, find the red card. And I kept watching that bent card go around the table, make sure I kept my eyes on that bent card. And when he stopped shuffling, and he said, find the red card, I pointed to it with confidence. Here it is right here. And he flipped it over, and it was black. And he took my money. I couldn't fucking believe that. How did this nigga do that? Was that magic or sorcery? I was confused. So you know what I did? I sat there, and I watched him for a real long time play the game. And I realized that all those people who was doing all that hooting and hollering and betting, my God, they were his friends. They were in on the whole thing. I felt so wronged. I felt so stupid. And then the next sucker came up to the table and was about to put his money down. And I said, fuck that, man. Don't put your money there. All these niggas is in on it. It's a trick. And when I said that, the guy that was dealing, and this motherfucker was huge, snatched me up by my collar. Feel how strong he was when he grabbed me. I was a skinny little guy. And he was gonna maul me. And the only reason he didn't, I'm sure, is because he saw the fear in my face. And that fear, he looked at me. I saw his eyes go from hard to soft. He softened. Then he looked at me like the way a father would look at a child. And he said to me, young man, don't ever come between a man and his meal. I never forgot that either. Most niggas would have to run the streets for years to learn a lesson that profound. It took me 2 seconds. Never get between somebody and their paper. Taking a man's livelihood away from him is akin to killing him. Do you know why Prince, the famous rock star that was a friend of mine, do you know why he called himself the artist when he came back? He calls himself the artist because that's what they call us in our contracts. Oh, these contracts are crazy. You should hear the terminology they say in these contracts. To use your name and likeness in perpetuity throughout the universe. Who the fuck could possibly know what that means? Nobody does. It's so complicated, in fact, that when you're a kid like me, you have to hire somebody to tell you what that means. And you sit down at a table and you do the contract game. And that's how I got with Comedy Central. I signed the contract. But I signed the contract the way that a 28-year-old expectant father that was broke signs a contract. I was desperate. I needed a way out. And it wasn't good money and it wasn't good circumstances. But what else am I going to do, I said. And all these white people sitting at that table told me, trust us, Dave, it's a good contract. And I looked around the table and they all seemed to agree it was a good contract. But what if it was like that game of 3-card Monte? What if they were all friends and I didn't know it? And the bag of money was Iceberg's money in the first place. What was I talking about? What was I trying to tell you? Last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, I called Lauren Michaels And I tell them, okay, I'll do it. I'll do Saturday Night Live on election night. And the day I made that phone call, the day I committed to it, it gets announced that Netflix is streaming Chappelle Show. Not just Netflix. HBO Max is streaming it too. Let me tell you another story about HBO. No, hear me out. Did you know, before Chappelle Show was at Comedy Central, I pitched that show to HBO. I told them what I wanted to do. Now, these are executives. All they have to do is say, yeah, we'll take it, or no, thank you, we won't. But they didn't say either of those things. They went too far. They said, literally, what do we need you for? That's what they told me, as they kicked me out of the office. What do we need you for? And here we are, all these years later, and they're streaming the very show that I was pitching to them. So I'm asking them, what do you need me for? People think I made a lot of money for Chappelle Show. When I left that show, I never got paid. They didn't have to pay me because I signed the contract. But is that right? I found out that these people were streaming my work, and they never had to ask me, or they never had to tell me. Perfectly legal because I signed the contract. But is that right? I didn't think so either. That's why I like working for Netflix. I like working for Netflix because when all those bad things happened to me, that company didn't even exist. And when I found out they were streaming Chappelle Show, I was furious. How could they not know? So you know what I did? I called them and I told them that this makes me feel bad. And do you want to know what they did? They agreed that they would take it off their platform just so I could feel better. That's why I fuck with Netflix, because they paid me my money, they do what they say they're gonna do, and they went above and beyond what you could expect from a businessman. They did something just because they thought that I might think that they were wrong. And I do. I think if you are fucking streaming that show, you're fencing stolen goods. They stole that from me. They just took it. And I'm not up here trying to tell you guys that I believe that Comedy Central gave me a raw deal just because I'm black. I believe that they gave me a raw deal because this fucking industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too bitches was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it fucks. And I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, fuck them, Dave. Why don't you just do Chappelle Show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation because the master over there might be nicer? My God, man, I was trapped. You know what? Tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle Show. Well, but if I do, I can't call it Chappelle Show because my name and likeness is being used by them in perpetuity throughout the universe. It's in the contract. You're not supposed to do this in my business. I'm up here doing something that nobody else in this business has the balls to do. I'm telling you something that you need to know. I'm trying to explain to you what you're seeing. You don't understand what you're seeing. I am publicly flogging a network. And I know that this network niggas, they watching me and they saying, why are you doing this so publicly? Doesn't feel good to be flogged publicly. Oh, believe me, I know. I know exactly how that feels. When I quit my show, they said I was crazy. What was crazy about it? I just didn't want to do it anymore. They said I smoked crack. That's impossible. I was a devout Muslim. I didn't smoke or drink. But I do now, bitch, because you ruined my fucking life. Now it's their turn. This is their first nigga lesson, and I'm honored to give it to them. They're gonna pay me for this show. I called my agent. I said, is there anything I can do about this show? And he said, no. Well, fuck you too then. If you want something done right, I guess you got to do it yourself. So I'm not going to the agents. I'm coming to my real boss. I'm coming to you. I'm begging you. If you ever liked me, if you ever think there was anything worthwhile about me, I'm begging you. Please don't watch that show. I'm not asking you to boycott any network. Boycott me. Boycott Chappelle Show. Do not watch it unless they pay me. If you're a shareholder at Viacom, then I'm talking to you. Because all that shit that they do to us, well, they do everything for their shareholders. That's what they told me. So if you're a shareholder in that company, tell them it's wrong. And if you don't believe that it's wrong, then fuck you too. You should know what's in the hot dogs you eat. Now, there's probably a bunch of people at Comedy Central and Viacom and all these places that have no idea what I'm talking about. They've all either quit or been fired or got Me Too'd or something. Them niggas is gone. And there's a whole bunch of new young people there, and they're probably looking like, what is he talking about? They may not actually know what the fuck happened to me. So I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Go downstairs to your accounting department, open the books, see what that show made, and look at what you paid me. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to pay me. I am inviting you to come with me and work with me. And let's fight against that terrible, terrible feeling that you made me feel together. We can fight together and work this thing with Chappelle Show out. Or I can just take it. Thank you.
Something is killing me slowly, and I'm feeling so lonely. But this thing I must to talk, oh. All my people, they for bush, oh. And our children are they go for school, oh. But nobody fit to talk, oh. We get to plenty, so many things where we really want to complain to you. See these people where they kill us, are the people where they got for protect me, yeah. Our children they for prison, our leaders they for prison. Now they calling for dialogue. Now who and who go talk, oh. That's why we pray to God. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our people are dying, and our mothers are crying. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our children are dying, and our mothers are crying. but they don't know what's up, oh, at all, oh. This war is bigger, and one man of it put a stop, oh. So make we put them all together, oh. I see plenty people don't die, and the housing when they burn, that's why the people they need so far. Everybody running helter-skelter, the children they need suffer, there is no food and shelter. Our children down the sofa, while the leaders living la vida loca. Yeah, so now who's how we go so Cameroon do. We get to plenty, so many things where we really want to complain to you. That yeah, see these people where they kill us, not the people where they get for protect we. Yeah, oh, no. Our children they for prison, our leaders they for prison, but they've been calling for dialogue. Now who and who got talk? Oh, that's why we pray to God. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our people are dying, and our mothers are crying. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our children are dying, and our mothers are crying. Okay, let's take a minute of silence for our brothers and sisters who have lost their life in the struggle, and our mothers who are living in the bushes, our children suffering in the bushes with no food and no shelter. We pray that may peace return in our land so that we can live in peace, peace forever. That's what we cry for. We get to plenty, so many things where we really want to complain to you. See these people where they kill us, not the people where they get for protect we. Yeah. Our children they for prison, our leaders they for prison, but they've been calling for dialogue. Now who and who got talk? Oh, that's why we pray to God. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our people are dying, and our mothers are crying. Heal our land, heal our land, heal our land. Cause all our children are dying, and our mothers are crying. Say we get to plenty, so many things that we really won't complain to you. Daddy, now who's how we go so Mabaminda, Buya, Limbe.
Thank you. Thank you. I like not knowing what's going to happen. I like making memories. Sometimes I do all this crazy around my colleagues just so that they can tell their friends I did it. But rather than talk about myself, just briefly, I want to just talk about my genre. Stand-up comedy is an incredibly American genre. I don't think any other country could produce this many comedians. And unbeknownst to many people in this audience, I don't think there's opinion that it exists in this country that is not represented in a comedy club by somebody. Each and every one of you has a champion in the room. We watch you guys fight, but when we're together, we talk it out. I know comics that are very racist, and I watch them on stage, and everyone's laughing, and I'm like, that mother means that. Don't get mad at them, don't hate them. We go upstairs and have a beer, and sometimes I even appreciate the artistry that they paint their racist opinions with. Man, it's not that serious. The First Amendment is first for a reason. The Second Amendment is just in case the first one doesn't work out. We gotta let some air out of the ball, man. The country's getting a little tight. It doesn't feel like it's ever felt in my lifetime. So tonight, I am honored that my colleagues are here in comedy and in music. And I want everyone in America right now to look at me. Look at me smoking indoors. I didn't ask anybody, I just did it. What are they gonna do? Kick me out before I get the prize? No, nigga, this is called leverage. thing that I liked best about tonight was that I saw so many people from different parts of my life, like friends that I grew up with here in D.C., friends of mine from Ohio then and now, friends of mine from comedy clubs, all the musicians that blew my mind. You guys have no idea how you inspired me. I want to give a special shout out to my OG, Tony Woods. Miles Davis has a quote. It's one of my favorite. Miles Davis said so much cool shit, but one of the things he said I always loved, he said, it took me years to learn how to play like myself. You know, he would watch other musicians and he would try to play like Dizzy or Bird or all the guys who were great. Tony Woods was my Dizzy and Bird if I was a Miles. I was trying to play like you. You were the first person I ever saw do it absolutely right. You were fearless and you told the truth. There's something so true about this genre, when done correctly, that I will fight anybody that gets a true practitioner of this art form's way, because I know you're wrong. This is the truth, and you are obstructing it. I'm not talking about the content, I'm talking about the art form. Do you understand? Do we have an agreement? And what I really wanted to say tonight, and I'm glad I get the platform to do it, I'm gay. I am gay, and I can't wait to see what this does for my career, being gay like this. So many special shout outs. One of the main architects of the comeback of the century, my brother and my mentor, the mighty Stan Lathan. I never dreamed that I would be able to work with someone as great as you. These last 5 specials, straight fire. I wouldn't want to do another special with anybody else but you. So eat your mother vegetables and live as long as you can, because we doing a few more of these bitches. Neil Brennan, your speech made me cry, because it reminded me of all those hard days of work and all that money I never got for it. The other real special shout out I gotta make, because none of this would have been possible on any level without this person, is my mother. Mom. My mother. Mom. You have no idea what I put this woman through. If you had just given birth to me, that would have been more than enough. But the fact that you raised me and raised me well. We had a real oral tradition in our house. I knew the word griot when I was a little boy. A griot was a person in Africa who was charged with keeping the stories of the village. Everyone would tell a griot the stories and they would remember them all so that they could tell future generations. And when they got old, they'd tell them to someone else. And they say in Africa, when a griot dies, it's like a library was burnt down. And my mother used to tell me, before I ever thought about doing comedy, she said, you should be a griot. And she'd fill me with every story of black life. You know, she's educated in African-American studies, and she would let me understand the context that I was being raised in, that I'm being raised in a hostile environment that I have to tame. By the time I was 14 years old, I was in nightclubs, mastering an adult world. It was terrifying. Crack epidemic was going on, and my mother would hear gunshots outside and be scared to death. Maybe it's my son. But early in my career, if you remember, Mom, you used to sit in the club with me. She'd do a full day of work. You'd be back there falling asleep, just waiting for me to go on. She would watch my show every night. Do you know how long that car ride is home? How many of you have ever heard your mother say, jokes were a little too much tonight, son? I was a soft kid. I was sensitive, I'd cry easy, and I would be scared to fist fight. And my mother used to tell me this thing, I don't even know if you remember, but you said this to me more than once. You said, son, sometimes you have to be a lion so you can be the lamb you really are. I talk this like a lion. I'm not afraid of any of you. When it comes word to word, I will gab with the best of them, just so I can chill and be me. And that's why I love my art form, because I understand every practitioner of it. Whether I agree with them or not, I know where they're coming from. They want to be heard. They got something to say. There's something they notice. They just want to be understood. Love this genre. It saved my life. So tonight, Mom, I would like to honor you in a very special way that I cannot do on my own. But because now I'm a man with great and influential friends, I'd like to ask my man Thundercat to come out on the stage. Thundercat, the Mighty Most Def. Washington, D.C., thank you very much for giving me a home and a place to start. Today is officially Dave Chappelle Day in Washington, D.C. The mayor declared it last night. So, in the future, on Dave Chappelle Day, I ask everyone who wishes to celebrate it to make one incredible memory for themselves and or somebody else. Thank you very much. Good night. Boy, yeah, tough time for the blacks. I'm not gonna say nothing about the police. I'll leave that for Chris Rock. The other big sports story was fucking Ray Rice's tape. Anyone see that Ray Rice tape? I can't stop watching it. It's fucking awful. It's the most violent thing I've seen happen to a woman that was shot in color. Really fucking bad. Like, if I could have froze time at that moment and gave Ray Rice some advice, I don't think there's any way possible I'd be like, you should punch her in the face. It's a fucking terrible idea. At the same time, I also believe she shouldn't have rushed him. What the fuck was he like? Yo, you can't beat him, miss. Don't rush a motherfucker that's trained to stiff on people in the clutch. He's gonna get the upper hand. The only reason I bring him up is because, you know, he's about to play football again. You didn't know that? The NFL was told by a federal judge they had to reinstate Ray Rice because he was transparent with their investigation. He told them exactly what he did. And they can't just change your ruling just because the tape came out. I get it. That's like if I'm hanging out with my buddies and I'm like, hey guys, guess what I did last night? I fucked this big fat girl I met at the club. And they're all like, oh shit, Dave, that's crazy. And then they see a tape of me doing it and they're like, we can't hang out with you anymore, guys. That's not what this crew is all about. I'll be like, well, I told y'all what I did. What's really fucked up is the tape was made before they were married. Isn't that weird? I don't know why she did that. I don't even know why he would do that. As a guy, would you want to live with a woman that you had once punched in the face with all your strength? That's some very bold color purple type shit. Silly, come out here and shave me. You know your fucking mind? I had to ask an older friend of mine just to get some perspective. This older black dude. Actually, the fairest person I've ever met. And I asked him, I just said, hey man, I said, did you see that Ray Rice video? And instantly he was like, David, that shit was disgusting. And then a moment later he goes, I wonder what she said to him. I don't think that matters. I think the idea is you're not supposed to punch her in the face. My wife says terrible shit to me. My wife once called me a pussy in front of dinner guests. I know, I started to get mad, but then I was like, fuck it, she's probably right. I am a pussy, I admit it. I'm soft and warm and persuasive like a real pussy. Right. And then I said, and if you don't take care of me properly, I might stink like your pussy. Oh, we fight dirty in the Chappelle household. It's not a big deal. No. If you want to get to the bottom of a matter of the heart, what you're supposed to do is ask a woman. Now, actually, there's two women that I know. They're both college professors in this little area I live in. And I meet them twice a week at Starbucks for coffee. Talk about important shit. And I asked the girls who was in the coffee clutch, I said, yo, why y'all think that this woman stayed with Ray Rice after we punched her in the face with all the strength? And one of my girlfriends said, David, you need to wake the fuck up. She's staying for the money. Well, now, wait a minute, because my other girlfriend was like, I disagree. I think that she actually loves him. And I said, wait a minute, ladies, you know what? I think that you're both right. And what I was doing when I said that was preserving the possibility of a threesome with these bitches. I've been chipping away at this pussy 1 cup of coffee at a time for like 4 years. I was gonna throw all that hard work away with some Ray Rice shit. I don't care that much. I'm just being real. It's fucked up, man. It's a tough time for the blacks. I love you too. And then here comes the banana peel. I'm waiting on it in a second. You know, that's how it starts. I saw in the paper today that the guy that threw the banana at me got arrested again because he threw a banana at another motherfucker in a bar in Santa Fe. Look it up online after the show. He actually did that. And that guy was black too. I'm just saying. And you know what the guy said he did it at night? He said, I did it because Dave Chappelle is racist. So, nigga, that's not the best way to handle that if I am racist. What if Martin Luther King just went around throwing tuna casserole on white people? Would that work? Huh? I seen your girl bubbling. She's drunk as hell, buddy. Listen, sir, I don't know what she's saying, but just take my advice. Get some water in her, or you're going to have some dry pussy when you get home. His dick's going to be shaped the fuck up tomorrow. Santa Maria. Who got a cigarette in here? Anyone got a cigarette in the bar? Yeah, you fella. Yeah, please. Well, let me see this. This is a Marlboro menthol. This could have been anybody. If it was a Newport, I'd be like a black dude threw that up. But a Marlboro menthol, that's one of them riddles. Is the word pussy offensive? All right, just checking. I asked that crowd when we was in Denver, I said, is the word pussy offensive? And the whole crowd said no, except for 2 people. One was a woman in the front. She's older than me, maybe around my age. Definitely a feminist. You know what I mean? Short haircut, plaid shirt, you know what I'm saying? And she didn't say it offended her. What she said is, she said, I'm uncomfortable with that word. And I was like, really? You? And then before I could ask her why, there was one other guy, he was in the balcony. Now, I don't think he was saying this to me, but he said this. Everybody heard him say it. He goes, it's delicious. I don't think I've ever heard pussy called delicious before in my life. Now, this is not to say that it's bad, but it's definitely an acquired taste. I don't think any of us tasted pussy our first time like, it needs something. You know, it's illegal for a gynecologist to say the word pussy. They can only say vagina, or they can name individual parts medically, but they can never say shorthand, even if the gynecologist is a woman. I feel like if it was a woman gynecologist, it's cool. Like, am I all right? And she's like, girl, that pussy is. I don't think men should be allowed to be gynecologists. That shit is a conflict of interest. Even when my wife was pregnant, we used to go to the gynecologist. And he'd put her legs up in that stirrup like this. He'd be like, all right, Mr. Chappelle, just try to relax. I push, back up, motherfucker, I got this. Just tell me what to look for. One of those home-style checkups. There's too many ethical questions when men do that. Like, can a gynecologist lose their license for smelling their fingers during an exam? Is that illegal? How could they not? These are men. It's like if you have a good barbecue, you don't even think about it. You just... The word pussy is only offensive if you're older. People my age and younger, I don't think we dance to that shit. The song come on the radio, it's I beat the pussy up. That's on the radio. I beat the pussy up. That's a pretty harsh song. It's like nothing like a love song. There's no tracks, there's tears, no midnight trains to Georgia. This man simply beats the pussy up. Unbelievable. You don't even know if he's having sex with these women. They might just pull their pants down. He'd be like, bah! G-Unit. Like he'd be watching HBO. Hi, I'm Larry Merchant, standing here ringside with the pussy after a devastating bout with 50 Cent. Pussy, come over here and let me talk to you for a second. My God, you look terrible. Your lips seem to be swollen. You're bleeding a little bit. Tell me, pussy, what happened inside of that ring with 50?
I don't know there. I felt really good in the first round. I was ready to fight. It's warm and moist, and I don't know. Just hit me from angles I wasn't expecting. Front, left, backside surprised me the most. Well, Pussy, let's take a look at round 4. This is where it all went wrong for you. Here you come out of your corner, Pussy. You fight really good. It looks like you got 50 with a right and a left, but then 50 slips your jab, and there, right there. You see that? He punches you right on that little bean thing you have on top of your head. I don't know what that is. But there's 50 just pounding away at that bean over and over. And that Pussy, tell me, what goes through a fighter's mind when their bean gets rattled around like that? I don't think I was thinking anything, Larry. You know, I'm a real good defensive fighter. It's real hard to get to me. I've never been punched directly on my bean before. As a matter of fact, most fighters don't even know that bean exists. I guess he just hit me, then I lost control of my legs. I don't know what else to tell you. I like when Lil Wayne talks about pussy. Lil Wayne used to have that song. He say, I got a bitch that plays movies in my jacuzzi. And then it goes like this. Pussy juicy. That shit always makes me laugh. Because no guy says that. You know? Only Lil Wayne says some shit like that. If you was fucking a girl, she's like, is this pussy good? And I'm like, it's juicy. It's good. Pussy was juicy. That's why I'm not Lil Wayne. Because if I was in a hot tub with a girl and I could tell that the pussy was juicy while I was in the hot tub, I'd probably get out of the tub. I'm a germaphobe. I just picture Lil Wayne like, what is this strange oil floating in my hot tub water? It's pussy juice. That shit was so funny to me, I must have wrote like no less than 40 jokes with the punchline pussy juice. And all of them worked to some degree 100% of the time. I'll do one more just so you believe me, okay? All right, and this next piece, it's a special episode of CSI. For some reason, Lil Wayne is guest starring as the lead detective, okay? That's the setup. Are you ready? Here it goes. Has anyone else been on this crime scene? No. It's very strange. This place is virtually undisturbed. No forced entry. No sign of a struggle. Shine your flashlight right here. I'm sniffing something. What is this? What is this? It glistens in the light. Smooth to the touch. This is pussy juice. She must have been sitting Indian style. Everybody's mad about something. Recently, I got attacked online by some gay bloggers, and it hurt my feelings. I have no problem with gay people, but I fucking hate bloggers. I'm not saying it because this person was gay. They was acting like a bitch online. They was like mischaracterizing my jokes, trying to make a point off of me, when it's like, yo, I'm your ally, motherfucker. I'm not trying to stop gay people. I got better shit to do. This motherfucker was saying things trying to get gay people to beat me up. Seriously, he was like, Dave Chappelle's jokes. I don't know how he actually talks when he's making his voice up. Dave Chappelle's jokes were an affront to the manhood of all gay men. What the fuck does that mean? I didn't say anything that would allude to gay men not being men. I know you men. In fact, what could be manlier than fucking another guy in the ass? It's the most gangster shit I've ever heard of in my life. I told you I'm not cut out for that. I'm a pussy. And you know what I said? That's all I said. First of all, I'll tell you right now what I said. And I will tell you that this was not a joke. It's a true story. And I just happened to tell it. All right, what happened was I went to a gallery party. All right? I don't know who in here has ever been rich before, but these are very nice parties. You know, wine and cheese and baller conversation. And there was a few eccentric types, one of which was a very wealthy man that happened to be wearing a dress. I don't know what you call him now. He was a tranny or drag queen, perhaps. Whatever it was definitely a man. And this man was definitely on drugs. I don't know what kind of drugs he's on, but I knew he had too much. He didn't look good. It's like this. He's like, he looked sick. And all his friends were standing around him, concerned, trying to revive him. I don't know what it looked like, some kind of gay CPR. There was fanning and shit. I saw all this from a distance. Now, I should have minded my own business, but I got curious. I was like, oh. And I went over there. All I said, excuse me, gentlemen, is he okay? And then they looked at me like I was evil. She is fine. Say, word? Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't know this is what we were doing. Here's my thing. I support anybody's right to be whoever they feel like they are inside. I'm your ally in that. However, my question is, to what degree do I have to participate in your self-image? Is it fair that I have to change my whole pronoun game up for this motherfucker? That doesn't make sense. Seriously. If I put on an Argyle sweater and I'm like, hey everybody, I feel like a white guy in this sweater and I want some goddamn respect and a bank loan. It's not gonna work. Give a fuck how I feel. Why should I give a fuck how you feel? Nigger is a pronoun. But there was no time for a philosophical debate. This was an emergency situation. I said, fine. Sorry, guys. I was just worried because she looks terrible. She just fell off the bench. Appears that her dick is popping out of her dress. Mind if I call an ambulance, champ? I'd rather not be at a party where a tranny ODs. There's too many questions to answer. Okay, I've been through this before. I had a friend from high school. Now, in high school, this guy was a thug, right? He was a fucking dope boy. He did it all. He's a wild dude. People used to be very scared of him. And then after high school, word on the street was he'd come out the closet. I personally didn't believe it. I bring him up because last year, he calls me out of the blue like, yo, what's up, man? I got your number from so-and-so. I heard you're gonna be in New York doing a show. Could I get some tickets? I was like, fuck yeah, get some tickets, man. How you been? He said, well, we'll catch up at the show, man. But yo, I appreciate it. I'll see you soon. I said, all right, man, take care. And I was about to hang up and I couldn't resist. I was just like, hey, nigga, I heard you was gay. What's going on with that? And I wish I didn't ask. Because he sounded like he was dying to talk about that shit. And he had a long story about it. And it's not that I didn't care, but I was, I don't like talking on the phone. I was watching TV at the same time. So I just wasn't really paying attention like I should. But I was trying to sound supportive, but I didn't really know what to say. So I was just like mumbling shit throughout this conversation. I just be like, well, nigga, you gay, man. You just gay. This went on for a while, and then finally I had to say something like definitive to get him off the phone. And I was like, hey, man, you know what? Don't let people get you down, all right? And the next time someone tries to make you feel bad about yourself, just remember, everybody fucks funny to somebody. He didn't like that shit. He's like, what the fuck does that mean? I said, huh? He said, you saying I fuck funny, motherfucker? I said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody's different. He said, you ain't say different, nigga. You said funny. What's so fucking funny about the way I fuck? And I said, hey, man, I fuck feet. He said, what? Oh, this is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. I get women to squeeze their feet together like this, and I fuck them right in that little space in their feet. But you can't build a community behind that shit. There's no flag for us. That shit made him laugh. The next day, after the show, I saw him backstage. He was like, yo, what's up, man? I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on? And he had his buddy with him. He goes, Dave, I want you to meet Manuel. Manuel's my fiance. We're in New York getting married because it's legal here. I said, oh, well, congratulations, fellas. And Manuel was like, gracias. And he went to go get some drinks. And then my buddy looked at me, he was like, so Dave, what do you think? And I started mumbling again. Oh, you gay, nigga, you know, just gay. He said, yeah, I'm a little nervous about getting married, man. It's a big step. I said, yeah, it is. It's a big step. He said, well, you've been married for a while. You got any advice for us? No, I'm married to a woman. Sorry about that. And they corrected me. He said, no, you married the person that you love. So it's essentially the same. I said, you know, man, the problem with that statement is that it makes the assumption that I love her. But yeah, that's lighten the fuck up. Of course I love my wife. She laughs at this shit. As a matter of fact, she eats and spends this shit. No, I told him, I said, you know what you should do, man? First of all, you shouldn't do it. I'm talking about being legally married. It's not that you're gay as much as just legal marriage is a fucking diabolical leverage game in the United States. I'm just being honest. Devoid of religious significance or the idea of love, marriage is nothing but an awful contract that you shouldn't sign. I'm just being real. Because you start out loving each other, and then like 2 years later, you're just building a case against one another for a hypothetical court date that may or may not ever happen. You throw being gay on top of that, that shit is explosive. Like I said, Ray Rice shit. Okay, right after Ray Rice went through all that shit, I was at a party and I met this kid, Michael Sands. You know Michael Sands? Very nice guy. He's the first openly gay NFL player. And Michael's a very nice guy, very brave guy. But when I met him, I couldn't help but thinking, now what's gonna happen when Michael Sands beats his wife up in the elevator? Is that domestic violence, or is that just two niggas working shit out in the elevator? You know what I mean? Anyway, I give all married men the same advice, gay or straight. Get a dog. This dog will love you all the time, but she's not going to. It's real talk. I didn't even know about dogs, and my kids got the dog. They brought him home from the shelter, and I didn't even want him. They were like, "Can we keep him?" I said, "Nope." I said, "Where did you get this dog?" They're like, "We got him from the shelter." I was like, "Ugh." Probably something wrong with him. Can't keep him. And then my kids started crying and screaming like the dog had gambling debts. "Please, Dad, if you don't let us keep him, they're gonna kill him." I said, "Oh. All right, you can keep him." And this dog was a menace. I hated his guts. Then one night I'd smoked a bunch of weed, and I was eating a sandwich, and Baba came over. Baba's the dog. He came over and was staring at me. This would make you very uncomfortable if you're just looking at you. I had to give him a piece of my sandwich so he'd go away. And that's how we became friends. Now, if you see me walking down the street with Baba, I ain't got no leash or nothing. He walks right next to me. If I stop, he'll stop. And if I go, he'll go. And all my friends are like, yo, Dave, that shit is dope. How you train Baba to do that shit? I've never trained Baba. Just a messy eater. If I drop food and Baba's not around, all I gotta do is call him. Baba! He's a black dude's dog, so he doesn't come right away. He peeks first to see what's going on. I gotta tap my foot so he can see the food. Over here, little buddy. And he's like, thanks, Dave. He'll come get it and run off. But he knows all my habits. Like, if he smells weed in the house, he'll be like, nah, this motherfucker's about to eat. And he'll just come running. Baba got me through a very difficult time in my marriage. We spend the most time together. Like, it's not that me and my wife don't spend time together, but we've been married so long, it's like we don't talk like, I don't know if anyone's married here, but after 10 years, all that chatty shit goes away. You said it all. You know what I mean? We're just in the zone. She says the same shit to me every night before she goes to bed. I'll be the last one up. She's like, let me get some sleep, Dave. Good night. All right, baby, stay and watch television. Good night. And she'll walk halfway up the steps. David? Don't eat the kids' lunch. And then she walks. Well, the crazy shit is I don't even eat their lunch anymore. Back in the day, I used to eat that shit. You know how that goes. I might smoke some weed in the middle of the night, and she'll leave neatly wrapped sandwiches all over the kitchen. I'm gonna eat it. What's the big deal? Why can't she just make another one in the morning? I mean, it's like, I got sons anyway. And sons love everything their dads do. My kids will be at school the next day, just look like, oh, Dad bit my sandwich. Oh, shit. Their dad is Dave Chappelle, man. You could trade that sandwich for something better. What I'm doing is adding value to their lunch. She doesn't understand these types of things. Anyway, she gets mad at me. Well, she's mad at me now because I got myself in trouble. I got myself extorted, which happens in this business. I come home from the road. There was a FedEx sitting on the kitchen table. And it was addressed to me, so I opened it. I don't know who delivered it. And there was a video cassette inside with a note written on it that said, gotcha. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? I freaked out. I tore the whole house apart trying to find the VCR. I hadn't seen a tape in like over a decade. And I watched the tape, and it was awful. They got me. It was a tape of me. I was fucking a girl, okay? But it was from before I was married. But it was not a good look. And I felt sick to my stomach. And I looked up at the clock, and then I saw my wife was coming home in 10 minutes, and I just panicked. I jerked off to the tape real fast, and then... and then I called the FBI. Who, by the way, made me feel much better. I mean, they didn't say they were going to catch him for sure, but they had the demeanor of some competent people that would catch him. So I didn't worry about it too much. And then not even a week later, 5 days later, I come home, and there's another video cassette just sitting on my porch. As soon as I saw it, I just called the police, like, they've done it again. You should probably look for a guy with bell bottoms on.
Dave Chappelle! Oh, so happy. Oh, it's awesome. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good morning, nerds.
Exactly.
Who does it? Who's like, I'm going to go see the news live?
You have never endorsed anybody. You didn't endorse Obama. People came back from the dead, black people, to endorse Obama. What do you know about Ben Jealous that makes you want to come out and endorse Ben Jealous?
What do I know about Dave Chappelle?
I know exactly.
I'm not, Ben, I'm not a real political dude.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat of a cynic when it comes to politics. However, this particular election was exciting to me because Ben and I are like family. Our fathers were best friends. My dad was his godfather.
Wow.
And when I was growing up, I never met Ben. He was just like a picture on the wall. When I moved to New York to do stand-up, my dad said, you got a godbrother at Columbia. You should go and hook up with him. And Ben and I hooked up, and we became fast friends. First thing I realized about Ben, we're similar in age, but his intellect was daunting.
Yeah.
Man, this guy is one of the smartest people I'd ever met. And from the time I was 17 to now I'm 44, I watched him work on equity, like sincerely and diligently work on equity outside of the system. Well, Ben got kicked out of Columbia.
True.
At one point.
Protest.
He was protesting. The university had bought the Audubon Ballroom where Malcolm X was assassinated, and they were going to demolish it. And Ben was incensed, and he was like, man, you got to come up to this protest with me. And I was like, I'm good. and Ben got himself arrested. He got put out of school. And for 2 years, I watched him, try to find his way. Academia was his life, and it was taken from him. And it was 2 long years. He got back into Columbia and killed it.
Right.
Got the Rhodes Scholarship. And there's a very...
First of all, that's hard to do right there.
Yeah. That's right. And when he got the scholarship, excuse me, everyone was very proud of Ben. And my father said to Ben, he said, I'm very happy, I'm very proud that you won the scholarship. And then he said, my fear is that they're awarding you the scholarship so that you'll no longer be a threat. Pop was a gangster. My dad was a cynic, too.
His dad went to Brown University at age 15.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was him, not me.
But it was also like 1953 or something.
Yeah, well, it was not a comfortable time to be Brown at Brown. but my dad's fears were because he's from the generation where, we petitioned the system from the outside. It was a post-Obama world. We've seen a community activist become the president of the United States.
Yeah.
And these times are daunting, man. I mean, even as a comedian, I travel all around the country. It's cynical out here. It's polarized in a way that I've never seen it before. And I feel like Ben is a uniter. Oh, I feel like as a policymaker, he's imaginative, and he understands people, like actual people. And for a cynic like me, he restores my faith in an institution that takes an enormous amount of money from me.
The government.
Yeah, the government. That's right. It makes me understand that a person that I know and trust can actually participate in government at a very high level and affect real change that I think is pertinent.
But you also are trying to build some interesting bridges. I want to show a clip that I think can get us off to a good start in this, trying to bridge some of these divides. Let's hear a little bit from Dave in your genre, as you say.
Full disclosure, the poor whites are my least favorites. We've gotten a lot of trouble out of them. And I've never seen so many of them up close. I looked them right in their coal-smeared faces. And to my surprise, you know what I didn't see? I didn't see one deplorable face in that group. I saw some angry faces and some determined faces, but they felt like decent folk. And I listened to them. I listened to them say naive, poor white people things. Man, Donald Trump's gonna go to Washington and he's gonna fight for us. I'm standing there thinking in my mind, you dumb mother. You are poor. He's fighting for me.
I just think that's such a brilliant distillation of where we are. People don't know. You live in rural Ohio. People think of you as this urban legend, but you actually live in rural Ohio.
Yes, I do.
And now we're, 2 years in. The economy has gotten better than it's continued to get better. What would you say to those folks who are still big Trump supporters today as we go into the midterms?
This is a tough question for me, Van. I got to tell you, first of all, the town that I live in is a small town.
Yes.
And it's like a little blue Bernie Sanders island in the Trump Sea. They love Donald Trump. I don't even know that they love him as much as they're frustrated, they're fed up, and a lot of these white people feel like their voices don't matter anymore. That their concerns aren't important or what have you. So, to be honest with you, in the name of safety, I won't tell him anything about that guy. I don't believe that I'll change him by his mind or anything. Right. But for me personally, I get along with everybody, whether I agree with them politically or not.
Right.
But
I thought
when you're actually trying to pull this democracy together, keep it from getting torn apart, you have to talk to everybody. You have to listen to everybody.
That's right.
I was out on the Eastern Shore, and I was giving a speech. And a guy who voted for Trump asked me what I thought about Medicare for all. And I said, I support it. He said, well, what if they won't do it at the federal level? I said, then we'll do it at the state level. He said, then I'll vote for you.
Trump support.
Yeah, I said, and I kind of started. I said, you voted for Trump, and now you're going to vote for the former national president of the NAACP. I said, tell me why. He said, I'm a finance manager at a car dealership. My bottom line is my business and my people. Neither one of them gets healthier until we can get health care we can afford. And if he won't do it, and you will, then I'll vote for you.
There is this question, though, around Democrats versus Republicans. And you have people like Kanye West who's saying, listen, love you guys and Democrats.
Excuse me 1 second.
You know where I'm going with this. Kanye says that, it's time out for Democrats. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that, first of all, Kanye is an artist, man.
Yes.
And he's a genius.
Absolutely.
Whatever he's saying right now, I think that the angle he's seeing things from is about the division that he sees. And he's not inconsistent with what he's saying. For instance, a decade ago, I read a quote where he said he wanted to take the Confederate flag and reappropriate it some other different kind of way. I mean, there's a MAGA hat, whatever, man. The thing that's scary about this presidency is after it. I don't know if you've been married before or had a girlfriend and said something in a fight that was so wrong, and then after that, we still family, we still around each other, but man, I sure did say all that shit, didn't I? And I'm not mad at Kanye. That's my brother. I love him. I support him. I buy his albums.
No claps. Oh, man, that was rough.
I know, whether people clap or not, But, I don't have to agree with everything that he says. I just trust him as a person of intent. But, he shouldn't say all that shit,
But let me take it on the argument then. So to take his personality out of it. What about the argument he's making, which is that, it's almost you're in this PC prison, you can't say anything, and you're not allowed to vote for Republicans if you're African American. What's your argument to people who feel like it's time to give Republicans a chance? It's an argument being made by a minority.
But I'll say this: I'm not a partisan dude. If he ran as a Republican, I'd vote Republican. If I got a chance to vote for somebody like this, I'm voting for somebody.
This isn't about
like
party. This is about ideas.
That's right.
the ideas have kind of migrated from party to party. The Democrats used to be much more conservative. Today, however, unfortunately, there's only one party that stands for civil rights. There's only one party that stands for environmental protection. And we have to, as voters, really listen to the ideas. What I say to folks is that, look, the war on drugs has failed. Trickle-down economics has failed. We have to have the courage to put ideas on the table that actually lift up working families, white, black, brown, Native American, Asian American. We've got to move beyond the labels of party and look at ideas, but let's also be clear. Donald Trump's party is Donald Trump's party, and what they stand for right now, we have to fight with everything we have.
The other big issue, we're talking about race, talking about class, gender. We're now in a situation where a whole new set of voices is coming forward. How do you guys look at the role of this new movement for women's empowerment, the Me Too movement, et cetera?
I hope it succeeds. What we all have to realize is that we all have to stand up in this moment and say that these women who have the courage to step forward, these men in many places, the courage to step forward who were sexually assaulted as well, we have to believe survivors. We have to have their back, and we have to figure out how we finally leap forward, because we've been staying stuck for a long time. It shattered a lot of lives, and enough is enough.
Yeah, I think that for most men, especially the men that I'm talking to, one, I'll tell you that as a movement, it's effective. Like in Hollywood, the man, they are buttoning up.
Which is good.
Yeah,
Which is good.
It's better than good. It's necessary. Two, I'll say that there's a lot of men that are learning for the first time the extent of the plight of the women in their lives.
We're just learning that consent is important. Most of our states, they don't teach consent when they teach sex ed. Think about that.
That's right. And this is a tough discussion, but it needs to be had. Yeah. And people need to learn the lessons, and we need to listen to one another. Yeah. I think that some people are so threatened by the movement, or they're so worried about it, that they're not hearing the messaging behind it. Mm-hmm. But I think it's an idea, this time has come, and we'll see.
Did you watch the Kavanaugh testimony, the hearings, all that kind of stuff?
I've seen highlights. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. What was your take and impression? Can you imagine an African American or a female yelling at them senators like that?
Oh, you mean the way that Kavanaugh yelled?
Yeah. Or any of it.
You know, man, I'm from this area. Like, I grew up around here, and the sad thing about it is, I believe, sadly, if that woman had gone to the police in 1982 and told them exactly what she had told the Senate, that he wouldn't have gone to jail. Not in that place, not in that time, not with no name like Brett Kavanaugh. It was daunting. It also made me sad that this is a national discussion that's happening during a Supreme Court nominee's hearing. It's a tough time for this country, man.
We got a lot more to talk about. I want to talk to Ben, and I want to talk to Dave Chappelle about mass incarceration and marijuana, which I never thought I'd talk to Ben Jealous about when we get back. Welcome back to the Van Jones Show. I'm here with comedy legend Dave Chappelle and the man that got him to wade into politics, Democratic nominee for the Maryland governorship, Ben Jealous. Give them both a round of applause to be back. What did you say to Ben Jealous to get him to be pro-marijuana decriminalization? Because I've known Ben for a long time, and that is not Ben's thing. So what did you must have done, you must have said something. I'm not nearly as fun as some of my friends. Exactly. I can testify that you are not. So what was that conversation like to get somebody like a Ben Jealous to be on board with decriminalizing marijuana?
Well, you know, Ben, you just got to be consistent. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't take credit for it, man. But I gotta say, when I heard it was on this platform, I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah. I think that it's a very important issue, especially in the state of Maryland. And you can speak more about that, but how it affects Baltimore. But as you know, Maryland's gone through a lot the last few years. We had big uprisings in Baltimore City after the Freddie Gray case. 2 years later, murders have kept climbing up. I asked a retired member of the Baltimore Police Department, recently retired captain, to go across the city, as only a retired member of BPD could, and talk to commanders on the ground and find out what they were saying about why murders were going on. He came back, he said, there are two interesting data points. He said,
One was that nobody could really agree, a lot of debate about what's been happening in the last 2 years. He said, on the other hand, if the question is what's been going on in the last 10 years, they were all in agreement that half the shootings in the city, half the murders in the city were one set of marijuana dealers killing another set of marijuana dealers. And I said, how could that be? I think it was a relatively peaceful drug. He says, but it's not about the drug. It's about the trade. The violence of the trade is about territory. And a little idea, a little light bulb went off in my head. So look, this is no more harmful than alcohol, and alcohol we all know can be very harmful in many ways, then if we legalize it, and the police officer told me we can bring down killings, I said, well, what's happening in Washington State? What's happening in Colorado? Killings are coming down. And I said, and then we take money out of the pockets of gangs and cartels, and we put the money in the pockets of farmers and business people, and we do that in an equitable way. That's a big deal. And then we tax it, and we take the money that we can tax from it, and we're able to fund, it's enough money to fund universal pre-K for every universal full-day pre-K for every 4-year-old in the state.
So you came at it more as a business guy and as a smart dad guy, as opposed to...
Well, and as a murder victim family member. I've had 2 family members shot in Maryland in the last 10 years. And if you tell me that we can bring down killings by legalizing cannabis, you have my full attention.
I'm just saying, man, it doesn't just quell violence in Baltimore. It stops a lot of violence and a lot of mayhem. And it's fun to smoke and relax.
Well, look, that may be true about marijuana, but there are other drugs that are much worse. Our mutual friend, all of us had a mutual friend in Prince who died because of a fentanyl overdose. I saw you in a stand-up thing in Los Angeles where you were talking about the impact of heroin in rural America. What are you seeing in rural America when it comes to this whole opioid epidemic?
A role reversal.
A role reversal?
Yeah. Poor white people look like black people in the 80s with a different drug of choice. And it's very sad to hear the vocabulary, now this is a health crisis. We were begging for them to call that crack epidemic a health crisis. We were criminalized, we were marginalized, and now these heroin addicts are here, and man, if they don't have our baby clothes on, it's terrible to see.
In both ways. It's terrible to see the pain and suffering, and terrible to see the hypocrisy politically.
Yeah.
What's your concern about marijuana legalization possibly then opening the floodgates for things like opioids, heroin, fentanyl?
There's a lot of lives that are being shattered right now. I mean, opioid deaths in Maryland up 160% in 4 years. We have to treat it like a public health crisis. And I wish we could go back in time. We can't. We just got to learn and go forward. In that respect, this is a gateway drug to common sense on drug reform. Wow. We've got to deal with this public health crisis as a public health crisis.
Famously on SNL, you said you wanted to give Trump a chance, but you also wanted to make sure that he gave disenfranchised people a chance. Looking at the Trump presidency almost 2 years in, do you feel that he gave disenfranchised people a chance?
It's hard to tell where Trump ends and his constituents begin, but I think that the rhetoric of his presidency is repugnant. I just don't like the way he talks. I don't like, we're living in a time where there's got to be a little more cultural sensitivity. And even a guy like me that's just writing jokes, I have to listen more than I've ever had to listen because the gripes is coming so fast and furious. And I'm not dismissive of people's gripes. It might sound like it on stage, but I listen. And as a president of a country that's as eclectic as ours, you look around your crowd, you see it's like a patchwork of people. I just think that he's speaking to a very small choir. And there's so many more opinions that the way he engages public is dismissive. I don't like talking bad about the president, but I said we should give him a chance because he's the president of the United States now. What choice do I have?
Right.
No, but I think you also apologized for that sometime later, didn't you?
Well, I don't ever apologize for that. What I said is, I said I shouldn't have said that shit.
Let's be clear, right? Let's be clear. Donald Trump is playing a politics of divide and conquer. He's picking scapegoats all day long. Muslims, Mexicans, immigrants, black folks, women, it goes on and on.
Yep.
Right? Occasionally, and so what do we do in that moment? We actually have to listen to each other. We have to talk to each other respectfully. We got to pull each other together because the only thing that beats the politics of divide and conquer is the politics of unite and prosper. And that's only possible if we're willing to respect each other and listen to each other.
Well, listen, you gave people a reason to tune in, and you're giving people a reason to turn out. I can't tell you how much it means. My dream is coming true having a show like this. I know your dreams have come true, being able to be one of the greatest that we've ever seen rock the microphone. And for you to be on the campaign trail raising these issues, dreams can't come true in America. When we get back, I'm talking to the most famous astrophysicist in the universe, Neil deGrasse Tyson. We're going to get his take on the increasing attacks on climate science and President Trump's Space Force when we get back. Welcome back to the Van Jones Show. My next guest is America's favorite scientist. He's an astrophysicist. He's the director of the Hayden Planetarium, and he is the author of 15 books. His latest book is called Accessory to War, The Unspoken Alliance Between Astrophysics and the Military. It's already on the New York Times bestseller list. Please welcome to the Van Jones Show, Neil deGrasse Tyson in the house.
What are you doing here? What?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, this is your life. Oh, my goodness.
Thanks for having me, man.
No, it's an honor to have you here. We're excited about it. Listen, you are somebody, you deal with facts. You deal with analysis, rationality. How are you handling this world now where it seems like it's facts over feelings, anger over analysis?
Feelings over facts.
Oh, yeah, feelings over facts, anger over analysis. As a scientist, I mean, how do you make sense of what's going on right now?
Yeah, it's frustrating. All I can say is the universe is in good shape. It's Earth that has all the problems, right? So it's a frustrating time because you try to have a rational, informed conversation with someone about what is objectively true, and then people argue vociferously against it. Right. And it's revealing itself on many levels. I mean, there's the comical level where you have this movement of people who are sure the Earth is flat. Right. And so we laugh at that, and you might even sort of discount it, but that is a symptom, I think, of some other deeper state of mind where maybe it's not a state of mind, perhaps it's just a state of not knowing what science is and how and why it works. Yeah. We spend time in school learning, you take a science class, we all did. I think the way it's taught is here's a satchel of knowledge, which is facts. Learn them and then move on.
And bubble on the test.
Bubble on the test and move on. Now you take the next class without realizing that science is a way of querying nature. Science is a way of asking questions about what you do not know. And if you don't think of it that way, you'll just leave the science class behind, you'll sell your textbook, and you move on, and then you might feel the freedom to discount it as you would discount anything else you might have learned.
Are we running out of time on climate?
Yes, the broader problem is, if you have politicians arguing about what is established objective truths, then you're wasting time. Right. You're wasting everybody's time. That's not what politics should be. I have nothing against politics. I understand we live in a complex world. People have different ideas and feelings about what kind of world they want to live in. I get that. I'm mature enough to understand that. The problem comes about is when you go behind closed doors and you're arguing about what the scientists tell you, not arguing about what to do about what the scientist tells you. But the more those are delayed because you're wondering about whether the science is true, even though you have reports from scientific agencies establishing this, I worry for the future of the country.
But what is the thing that worries you the most about climate?
We've had relatively stable climate. No ice ages, no hot spells, and we've had these ice caps that have remained, primarily in Antarctica and Greenland. Oh my gosh, if you melt those ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica, the water levels will rise and come to the level of the Statue of Liberty's elbow. Okay? So, we are talking not so much, oh, it's so hot, it's going to kill me. No, we're talking about sea level change. And where are all the greatest cities in the world? They're on the ocean's edge, on the river's edge. My point is, what's going to happen first? The coastal cities will get flooded. You're not going to just see water levels slowly rise. That will happen, but that's not what you're going to notice first. The storm swell that previously only brought the water to here now breaches your city walls. You'll see it in the extremes of the weather. And this will destabilize the world. And you know who knows about this is the military.
Yeah, the Pentagon has no debate.
Pentagon has no debate. You know who else doesn't have a debate? Insurance companies.
Right. But you're saying our cities are at risk, our civilizations are at risk, you're going to displace a whole bunch of people, and that could cause all kind of wars.
It'll happen faster than you can move the city inland.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that level of instability is something that worries me. Something else that you talk about is this whole idea of the relationship between the military and science. And, you know, when Trump came out with his whole idea of the Space Force, because I'm a progressive, I was like, well, that's just nuts, a crazy idea. But then I looked into it. I want you to see what I found out about the Space Force, and I want to get your reaction to it.
Sure.
Space Force. President Trump says his proposed Space Force would prepare us for any potential Star Wars.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
A new equal branch of the military. Now, the last time the U.S. created a new military branch was 1947. That was the Air Force. It would manage space missile systems, build and launch satellites, and oversee all the military space-related programs that are currently being run by other departments like NASA or the Air Force. The new force would even have its own intelligence arm, designing and operating spy satellites. The U.S. military has been a space player for quite some time, with the space shuttle actually delivering classified payloads like spy satellites into orbit. And this, the X-37B, it's a 29-foot unmanned space plane. It launches and lands like the old space shuttle. It's stayed in orbit now for over 2 years at a time, but its mission is classified. President Trump says the force is necessary because adversarial countries like Russia and China are already building weapons and anti-satellite systems that could threaten the United States.
When it comes to defending America, it is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space.
But not everybody is over the moon about this new agency. Some are worried that this new branch would be just too expensive. Some people are putting the cost at $12.9 billion over the first 5 years alone.
It's a trap.
Other critics are worried that you could spark a space race that could lead to real combat in the cosmos. The Trump administration is hoping to get the new agency a liftoff by 2020, but in order for this to be anything other than pie in the sky, Congress must approve it. But is this a good idea or a bad idea, according to you?
Maybe some ideas are neither good or bad. They're just the right thing to do. Just because the idea came out of the Trump administration doesn't make it an irrational suggestion.
Hey, listen, well, that's actually good to hear.
Yeah, as you correctly noted, you would shift away from the Air Force what it's already controlling, the U.S. Space Command, and it would just become its own branch. And if I would throw in maybe asteroid defense, why not?
You wrote a book about this relationship between astrophysics and war, and the way that almost inevitably science and the military accelerate each other. Why did you write that book, and what do you hope that people get from this book?
The relationship between science and military might is well known, all right? It wasn't soldiers who invented the catapult. It was some engineer in the back room who said, hey, I can do this, and then military leaders said, let's take it.
And use it.
All right? And so for physics, you know, they made the bomb, and the chemists made the napalm, and the biologists might weaponize anthrax. What does the astrophysicist do? I care about things like dim things that I'll use multispectral imaging to detect. I care about sending moving spacecrafts to intersect moving objects in space. I care about navigation, where I am on the sky and where I am on Earth.
And all of that could be used by the military.
All of that.
Yeah.
Not only can be used, has been used.
Are you trying to warn us about that, or are you just trying to make sure that we understand it? Help me understand your passion about that.
Thank you. I grew up in New York City. It's a progressive city. It's a progressive place. My first awareness of culture and news was late 60s. And what is the state of the Vietnam War on our conscience? The equation was war equals bad.
Right.
And I had no way to understand why there were statues of heroic soldiers in reference to other wars. And I would have to mature into the state of mind, realizing that there are times when a bad agent rises up And you would be irresponsible as a contributing member of civilization if you did not stop it. And that's what happened in the Second World War with Adolf Hitler. Right. People rose up, and you weren't saying, oh, war is bad. Don't use my new invention to help defeat Hitler. You were saying, here, do it, use it as much as you can, and I'll work on some more. So once I realized this, and I said, I know my people, my historic brethren, had been handmaidens to this, especially when it came to navigating the world. We don't make the bombs, but we tell you how to get to where you're going and how to find your enemy again and how to know a coastline if you're going to take over that land. But in this book, I'm not there to judge it. I'm there to expose it.
Well, listen, I am excited about the book. I know a lot of people are. We got so much more to talk about when we get back. Coming up, we got more with Neil deGrasse Tyson, including answers to some of the most pressing science questions in the news right now when we get back. Welcome back to the Van Jones Show. I'm here with the most famous astrophysicist in the universe, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Time for a lightning round. Okay, here's my stuff. First of all, is Pluto a planet? Yes or no?
No. Next. Get over it. Next.
It's so wrong. It's so wrong.
It ain't no business being it.
Number 2. There is a skull-shaped asteroid that's coming toward the Earth during Halloween. Should I be scared?
No. It'll come near us. We'll get some good shots of it. And I promise you, it will not look exactly like a human skull, in spite of the artist renderings. It'll be far enough away, you don't have to worry about it.
No, nothing to worry about.
No, I promise you.
Okay. What's the one thing that you know nothing about?
Oh.
Stumped him!
No. I wish I knew how to compose music. In another life, that's what I'll do. I want to compose music for Broadway musicals. That's a fantasy of mine.
Oh, that'd be nice.
In a different life, yeah.
Different life. You still got time.
I said a different life, not this one.
No.
I'm busy. I got more to do in this life, okay? In the multiverse.
Last question. Carl Sagan's gone. Stephen Hawking's gone.
Yeah.
Did you ever think, when you were a little black kid watching Carl Sagan, that at some point the most beloved scientist in America, maybe in the world, would be an African-American man?
No, and I'm still a little bit freaked out. I don't view it as a personal achievement. I view it as evidence that people have everybody's got a little bit of geek in them. And I'm there tickling it for them, and I'm stimulating it, and it rises up, and they want more. And so my hope for the future is that this bit of stimulation gets people to want to care about what is objectively true, care about science, care about technology, care about the future of our country and the future of civilization itself. And if I'm a catalyst for that, that's great. I don't even have to be remembered for any of it. You know what I want on my tombstone? A quote from Horace Mann: "Be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity."
Yeah, beautiful. Listen, Neil deGrasse Tyson, give his brother a round of applause. Thank you for being here. Everybody check out the book. It's called Accessory to War. I'm Van Jones, The Van Jones Show. Thank you for watching. Peace and love for one another.
Something is killing me slowly, and I'm feeling so lonely. But this thing I must to talk, oh. All my people, they for bush, oh. And our children are they go for school, oh. But nobody fit to talk, oh. We get to plenty, so many things where we really want to complain to you. These people where they kill us are the people where they got for protect me, yeah. Our children they for prison, our leaders they for prison. Now they calling for dialogue. Now who and who go talk, oh. That's
ladies and gentlemen, at this point I'd like to acknowledge a Bay Area legend, DJ Fuse of Digital Underground. Part of my affirmative action plan, I'm trying to give white DJs a chance. People like Fuse have played in hip-hop's minor leagues for years so that Eminem could be in the majors. I'm just fucking with you, Fuse. This is not the minor leagues. Fuse brought sound effects too. We have tons of them. We do this all the time. Fuse, give me a sound effect. Yes, that's I don't know what the fuck that is. What else you got, Fuse? Give him a minute. This motherfucker's surfing the web during the show. This is money well spent. He's probably uploading this show right now to YouTube so he can see what's bullshit? Oh no, there's a heckler in the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, please be calm. So anyway, this is like some rock star shit, and I see security is, I don't know what security is doing. There's a lot of hubbub around. Don't fuck with the man in the yellow shirt. What's up, security? One of them was wearing shorts. That's very intimidating. Should throw some karate slippers on. That'll show him. Do you know who you're fucking with? I do shit like that. I go to Chinatown and wear karate slippers just to intimidate motherfuckers. I don't do that. That would be funny though if I was sneaking up on people in Chinatown. Well, you got them on too, nigga. Of course, we all remember that's the theme to Enter the Dragon. Don't drive through Chinatown and blast that on your stereo. They'll think you're racist. Hey man, I'm just a movie buff. I kid the Chinese because I was recently in China, not Chinatown. I was actually in China searching for investments. Dave Chappelle is trying to diversify his career because I've learned how flimsy shit can be. And I did make an investment. I bought a house just outside of Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, $450,000 American dollars. It is a 18-room mansion. Thank you. It's made entirely out of Legos. Everyone just relax. It's Chinese building material. Live in a house of poisonous toys. As a matter of fact, I got the building parts from a Chinese toy store. It's communist. It's called Toys Are All of Us. All right, I made that part up. But when I was in China, I had a chance to see the Great Wall, and I know that there are a lot of Chinese American audience members, and I want to say congratulations to you. It's a fucking phenomenal wall. It's probably the greatest wall I have ever seen. It's amazing. I didn't know that Chinese people in ancient China had Mexicans. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I did just say that. But don't misunderstand me. Because I would never take that accomplishment away from the Chinese. I know the Chinese built the Great Wall of China to keep Mexicans out of China, which is a very advanced idea that America didn't think to do till 2003. I wonder how that wall is coming. Okay, I say things like this, but you guys understand I'm joking. Which is a good thing. And one time that I was doing a show, this is some real Bay Area shit. I was doing a show, and there was a couple in the audience. The wife was obviously Asian. And the husband, his lineage was more mysterious. He could have been from Mexico, or maybe he was from Bangladesh. I didn't know what this guy was from. Now, I'm a tactful person sometimes, but in this particular instance, I wasn't tactful. I actually asked him. I said, so hey, where are you guys from anyway? And the wife was offended. Maybe rightfully so. She looks at me and she goes, well, I am from Berkeley. If you are asking my ethnicity, I am Chinese. And the husband says, he's like, I'm Mexican, bro. Okay, and then I'm just joking around. Now, it's not the best joke, but all I could think of it in a second. I said, oh, wow. I said, man, you guys are going to give birth to the hardest working baby that's ever lived. Like, obviously, I'm joking. That's obviously a joke, right? Everybody knows that babies don't work in America. Folks, I'm just trying these jokes out. I'm writing the jokes for the Republican Party. I'm just joking around again. I'm not even political.
Oh my God.
So I don't know if you guys heard about it. I had a little nasty spill in a show in Miami a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was terrible. Fucking terrible. And I was heckled by all Native Americans. And the people were camera phoning me, so I had like a Kramer moment. It was really fucked up. Yeah, if such thing was possible for a black comedian, that actually happened to me. I had a Kramer moment. And I have mixed feelings about what happened to Kramer. I don't want to bring that up again, because, you know, I'm a black dude, so obviously I was fucking furious when Kramer said what he said. But I'm also a comedian. The comedian in me was just like, phew, this nigga's having a tough set. Hang in there, Kramer. Don't let him break you. You know, I can relate to that. Everyone has a bad show. I had one a couple weeks ago. It's just part of my business. We all have bad shows. But rarely do you have a show that's so bad that you have to meet with Jesse Jackson within a week afterwards. That's a really bad show. It's the worst show since Siegfried and Roy got mauled by their own tiger. And in a way, isn't that why we all go to the Tiger Show? You don't go thinking that the guy's going to be safe with tigers. You go thinking in the back of your mind, this motherfucker might get bit. And I'd like to see that for $35. Very rarely do you see a hilarious tiger maul. Of course, in one career, you might see one person get mauled by a tiger and be able to make a joke about that, which it isn't funny. My lifetime, there's been two. There was one at the zoo in San Francisco. Which is why San Francisco is such a weird city. This is the only city that the person will get mauled by a tiger at the zoo, which is fucking horrific. And the entire city blames the victim. He was teasing that tiger. So the fuck what? The tiger is not supposed to jump out of this hole under any circumstances. They shouldn't, has to be one of the worst mismanagement stories I've ever heard at any zoo. You shouldn't expect to be killed by an animal, no matter what kind of funny faces or popcorn and shit they were throwing at him. The tiger fucking killed two people. I watched the whole thing in the news. They were like, well, the San Francisco police were called, which is another crazy thing. I just can't imagine calling the police. Hello, tiger, help! And they said the police said that they fired a warning shot. Just kill that motherfucker. He's bad. This tiger is bad. This tiger's not rehearsing. The news said that the tiger chased one of his victims 300 yards. God damn. 300 yards. That's 3 football fields. You know how fast you have to run To outrun a tiger for 300 yards, that is fucking amazing. He probably woke up in the hospital with an NFL recruiter standing over his bed. You did good, son. Damn good. I know this is a bad time, but I'm with the Cincinnati Bengals. And you have the right stuff. That's what he wants to hear. America has an African president. It's fucking, I never thought that would happen to me. And they captured Osama bin Laden. So we can all just, it's over. Everything's back to normal.
He's gone.
So all this act like none of that shit ever happened. Not only did they capture Osama bin Laden, they shot him dead and threw that motherfucker in the bottom of the sea like Megatron. Like they left room for a sequel. Maybe Osama will come back. I am pessimist prime, motherfucker. I don't believe any of this shit. Guy could be coming back any minute. Nobody, I need some proof. What happened to Osama bin Laden? Where's the body? We threw it in the bottom of the ocean. Done with it. What a shitty hiding place he had. He had an apartment in Kabul. All this time we were looking in caves. Turns out he had a 3-bedroom. We busted in on that motherfucker. He was cooking eggs. America breathes. He was looking out the window. He wasn't even thinking about the World Trade Center. He was just thinking about how wild life can be and just moving on with his life. Yes. Motherfucking Facebook page was still open. What a wild life it's been. Shot that motherfucker. Freeze America! Oh no! Wow! You see it like a movie. Him falling back in slow motion. Hot sauce falls out of his hands. Take him to the bottom of the ocean. It's a fucking weird world. It's a weird world we live in. And the president's black. It was weird because I was watching the Cosby Show. And it was the one where Rudy got a dog. And then I realized I was watching CNN and it was Barack and the... Not Rudy at all. I rarely come out, but tonight I came out because one time I did this show, this very show, and they gave me a birthday cake on the stage. I'm not really into birthdays, but man, it was one of the nicest things, and I really appreciated it, and I didn't forget it, and I get to work with dudes like Chris Tucker and Kat that I never get to see. And I rarely get to see them. It's my own fault. I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what you just said, but it just sounded serious about that shit. And whoever's sitting near him, watch that motherfucker. That sounded like the Malcolm X, get your hands out of my pocket type shit. They even put the spotlight on him. Alaikum salam to the Muslims, Ramadan Mubarak to the Muslims. I didn't know there were so many Muslims here. Everyone relax. I mean, look, we all know that America, unfortunately, has a racial hot seat. And right now, that hot seat happens to be occupied by, unfortunately, Arabs and I dare say Mexicans. And we, the black people, would like to thank you for your sacrifice and your struggle. And as we take this long-deserved break, but we do feel for you. Because we as black people know all about racial profiling, but, you know, at least we can leave our backpack someplace. If you're Arab and leave your backpack somewhere, they will send a robot to blow your shit up. That's fucking amazing. It's a whole new level. And Latinos are, oh my God, the stuff they're doing, I'm so sorry to hear about it, everybody. It's not even easy for white people anymore. That's when you know that this motherfucker's imploding. Like, you know, now that I live in the country, it's like I actually know poor white people, like farmers and shit. Just like they come around, you know, for a black dude from the city, whenever he sees a poor white person, it scares him. Like, have you ever seen like a real poor white guy? He just looked like a zombie movie. He's all dusty and shit, kind of attractive. We're all in it together. Told you I'm running out of shit to talk about. I'm working up for the finale. Now here comes my finale. Here's a question I had to, okay, do you guys get like drink service at this table, or can you like go to the bathroom? You can't even go to the bathroom, can you? This table's tough, isn't it? Just sitting on stage. It's fucking weird. Just having them sitting there, it's like fucking weird. I know you're somebody's friends though, right? Like, you know somebody backstage, no? My wife don't even have a good seat. What the fuck is wrong with this place? My wife is somewhere out there. These motherfuckers are sitting right up on the stage. I'm totally joking. I don't mind you being there. It does make me a little nervous, but I'm assuming that someone with the yellow shirt patted you down. Put all some karate slippers on him. You know the worst part about bombing in Miami is my kids were there. And you know, I got mad. I don't know what I said, but you know, it must have been crazy because my kids was young and my wife was mad and shit. I got in the car, I was so furious, I was acting like I was asleep, so I didn't have to talk to anybody. And I heard my son say to my wife in the back seat, he said, "Mom, what is pussy?" So I know I must have said something crazy, but I don't know why I was mad, I just kept like I was sleeping. She said, "Son, pussy is what keeps this family together." Drove off into the night. I love you, San Jose. I thank you. It's good to see you again. Good night.
Solomon, black man, election manager, Ambazonian with the vote. Election don't go. Yes, as we the vote we go. For true, they say they will be no. Now there we go. By election to heaven, all man with the vote, many don't win the vote. For the sake of the gospel, brother, we go suffer, we go. As the election don't go, we must vote. As we the vote, we go. Oh yes, brother, when we go to you, now you don't be the vote. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. My enemies they will shame. For true, look, you don't lost the vote. Yes. Say I don't win the vote. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. go shame. As the election don't come, we go vote. As we dey vote, we go. Okay. Brother, when we go to you, now you don't need the vote. Now your flag, the flag, the go so. My flag, oh, the jubilee, they see. Now God don't give you the photo, brother. Your enemy, they go shame. Oh yes. I go to pop champagne, go. Okay, okay. And the jubilee, they see. Now God don't give me the photo, brother. My enemies, they go shame. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Yes. Say I don't win the vote. Now God don't give me the photo, brother. My enemies, they go shame. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the photo, brother. My enemies, they go shame. It's not by weapon of war. Not weapon of war, no. Your multitude of soldiers. Not been a plain soldier. By the salvation of God, oh brother. Now he don't give me the vote. I've been campaigning for so many years, oh, under the rain and sun. Oh, sweat, brother. Finally, God don't give me the vote. Oh. My enemies, they go shame. I go to jubilate the sea. Oh yes, oh yes. This praise is to God. It's by the salvation of God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Now you don't give me the vote. Give praise to God, oh. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. My enemies, they go shame. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. My enemies, they go shame. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. My enemies, they go shame. Look, you don't lost the vote, you. Say I don't win the vote. Yes. Now God don't give me the vote, brother. My enemies, they go shame. High five to the president of Ambazonia. Thank you, Lord. To the general on the ground floor. High five to them all for your faithfulness. From north to south, the Amazonian population. I say high five. You have win the vote. I welcome you all, Ambazonia. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Chappelle.
Thank you. Oh boy, I'm very nervous. No pressure. During the civil rights movement, I can't read what's on the teleprompter. Some about black America and white America. There's black Americans and there's white Americans. We're all one America. So if you don't mind, this is not live, is it? I imagine whatever I say, you could just edit it out. Let's try it a few ways. Lou, are you in the booth?
I am.
All right, good. You know what, Lou? Let's just play around with it and see if we can get it right and get this clip package on, and then let me go home, all right?
You got it.
All right.
Ready?
All right, count me in.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wu-Tang. I'm just with you, Lou. Let's do it again. We're gonna do it again. We'll get it right.
Here we go, Dave. 5, 4, 3, 2.
You know, when I was a comedian starting out in Washington, D.C., right here in this city, 1988, I'll never forget this. It was a comedy club owner that banned profanity from his comedy club. He said it offended his audience, and this was a cause of major concern for all the comedians in the circuit. And we all called a meeting, and we had the owners come, and it was the club owners, and it was the comedians. It was the classic labor dispute. The club owners laid out their case. There cannot be profanity in these clubs because that offends people. And there's a comedian who's still a good friend of mine to this day. He lives right here in Washington, D.C. He stood up and he said, he's black, I should tell you, because it's important to the story. He says, I use profanity because I live a profane lifestyle. He says, I don't have an insect infestation in my house. I have roaches. My favorite comedians are like musicians, and the audience is their instrument. And the music they make is your laughter. And that's the laughter that I scored my entire life to. So now, some of my favorite American comedic composers. Thank you.
When I lose my job, I lose my man. Treat me like a dog. He called me a dog. Yes, he did. What did he call me? An old dog. Sometimes I wished I was a dog and he was a tree.
When you stop and think, football's a fair sport for my people. Only sport in the world a Negro can chase a white man and 40,000 people stand up and cheer him.
See, in my neighborhood, the kids have a kind of a dubious reaction to that whole Santa Claus concept. They just don't believe that a white man will ride a reindeer through Harlem after midnight.
In truth, white friend, it's you that all look alike. But look at the black people around you. We're all different colors. Black walnut, burnt almond, chocolate mocha, pecan, vanilla, yellow, mellow, light, bright, and damn near white. We come from the first people on the earth. You know, the first people on the earth were black people. We the first people had thought, right? We was the first one to say, where the am I? And how do you get to Detroit?
I think maybe like 30 years ago, there was a woman that wanted to sing in it, a black lady that sang opera, that wanted to sing, what was her name? Mary Anderson, and this place was like segregated and they couldn't sing there. And here we are, like not even 50 years later, a 22-year-old black man on stage getting paid to hold his
God bless America. I gotta go now. Y'all take it easy. Bye-bye.
Janelle Monáe, Will Smith, Common, Gladys Knight, and John Legend when we continue.
Yeah, man. Well, you ladies are right. To be honest with you, your lives look terrifying to me. They do, man. I know nothing about being a woman, but I know fear. Yo, I used to live in New York when I was 17, and I couldn't even pay my bills. You know what I did to make money? I used to do shows for drug dealers that wanted to clean their money up. One time I did a real good set, and these motherfuckers called me in the back room. They gave me $25,000 in cash. I was probably 18, 19 years old. I was scared. I thanked them profusely. I put that money in my backpack. I jumped on the subway and started heading towards Brooklyn at 1 o'clock in the morning. Never been that terrified in my life. Because I never in my life had something that somebody else would want. I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, if motherfuckers knew how much money I had in this backpack, they'd kill me for it. Then I thought, holy shit. What if I had a pussy on me all the time? That's what women are dealing with. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's real talk. If them same drug dealers gave me a pussy and said, put this in your backpack and take it to Brooklyn, I'd be like, nigga, I can't accept this. I empathize, man, you know. Everybody gets mad because I say these jokes. But you understand that this is the best time to say them. More now than ever. And I know there's some comedians in the back. Motherfucker, you have a responsibility to speak recklessly. Otherwise... New York Times said that Louis C.K. jizzed on his own stomach. You know, I've busted a lot of nuts in my day. None of them were newsworthy. Shit was really gross, because they didn't just say it like I said it. They didn't just say jizz on the stomach. They said it in that fucking Pulitzer Prize winning style that the New York Times has. It was very descriptive, like, you know what I mean? Louis C.K.'s semen shot out like a volcano of misogyny, slowly drizzling down like lava, covering his freckled penis as it slowly dripped to a fiery crown of red hair. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to eat some huevos rancheros and these niggas is... And you know, the tough part, being a comedian, knowing the motherfuckers, everybody comes up to me like, did you know? Did you know what Louis was doing? No, bitch, I did not know. The fuck you think we talk about at the comedy club? Hey, nigga, how was the weekend? Great, man. I was just jerking off in faces and coming on my own stomach, having a good time. You know how this business is. No, I didn't know. They act like we sit around like Grease. Tell me more, tell me more. Then she put up a fight. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I don't know the choreography, but you get the point. You get the point. She was intense. But Louis was like the turning point. I mean, you know, all these allegations are terrible. Louis was the only... I shouldn't say this, but fuck it. His allegation was the only one that made me, like, laugh. If you think about it. Because all his friends is reading it, and he's jerking off, and he's surprising people. He's surprising me. I just picture all the comics in comedy just reading it like, what? It's terrible. I know it's terrible. I'm sorry, ladies. You're right. You are right. But at the same time, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. Jesus Christ, they took everything from Louis. I was like, I don't know, it might be disproportionate. I can't tell. I can't tell. This is like where it's hard to be a man. One lady said, Louis C.K. masturbating in front of me ruined my comedy dreams. Word? Well, then I dare say, madam, you may have never had a dream. Come on, man, that's a brittle spirit. That is a brittle-ass spirit, nigga. That shit is too much. This is a grown-ass woman. You know what this shit is like? It's like COINTELPRO. You know what that is? It's a program that the FBI had under J. Edgar Hoover. In this program, one of the many things they did was they would track the sexual habits of anyone they considered an enemy of the state. It was a lip button. That's why they got all these fucking sex tapes with Martin Luther King fucking bitches. But lucky for us, he actually had a dream. You think if Louis C.K. jerked off in front of Dr. King, he'd be like, I can't continue this movement. I'm sorry, but the freedom of black people must be stopped. I didn't know this nigga was gonna pull his dick out and jerk off like this. I just thought we were gonna get a couple of drinks and chill. Show business is just harder than that. Them women sounded like, I hate to say it, y'all, they sound weak. I know it sounds fucked up, I'm not supposed to say that, but one of these ladies was like, Louis C.K. was masturbating while I was on the phone with him. Bitch, you don't know how to hang up a phone? How the fuck are you going to survive in show business if this is an actual obstacle to your dreams. I know Louis is wrong, ma'am. I'm just saying I'm held to a higher standard of accountability than these women are. Don't forget who I am. Don't forget what I am. I am a black dude.